I just ignored everything.
I see,
Went
friends.
head on.
This is Dawn Agreement, a D&D5E actual play, the Book of Shahbaz, Chapter 5. I think this may be the final chapter unless some really weird stuff happens, which could always happen. Shahbaz, you are awakened in the morning, not by the natural rhythm of time, nor by the tweeting of the birds as the sun rises, but instead the shrieking of the birds and the yowling of the cats. As you rise from your cot in the inn and go to look outside, cats are battling cats, birds are battling cats. There are deer and 2 wolves going throughout the town. People waking up to go perform pre-dawn rituals like miners loosening themselves up or farmers getting ready for the field are being beset by these animals. Now, let me be clear. For every one, let's call them traitor cat, there are 9 non-traitorous cats who remain on your side. So the cat versus cat ground battle is solidly in the milk faction. That said, cat versus bird, always a questionable outcome, especially since these birds seem murderous. The wolves are basically ignoring everything smaller than themselves to attack humans. You notice that Jaeger has stumbled, is probably the best word for it, off of a roof, firing arrows constantly. He seems to be running kind of low and is trying to scramble up the side of a roof while being pecked at by a bunch of birds. But every time he draws back that bow, he knocks out 1 and sometimes even 2 birds with 1 arrow. Your boy. So let me just take you behind the scenes real quick, right? Now, I always tell people not to do this, and I always tell myself not to do this, but, basically, this show is unpopular, so I feel like it's all right to just walk the mechanics behind. I thought you might recruit 1 ally at most for this campaign, so I was like, all right, just in case he ever recruits a second loyal follower, right? I will remove a major part of the upcoming boss fight. So, your boy, Mr. Stern, has a sword cane that he has covered in some sort of... You watch him pour a chemical on it and then light it. And now he's got a flaming sword. He's fighting both of the wolves, and he's fighting what appears to be a boar with green tattoos that are glowing in a sort of circuit board fashion all down its body. And he appears to have drawn their attention. And you hear him shouting, "Go! Mr. Shahbaz! You must go!" And he points with the sword to where in front of the mine there is a giant dire boar. This is a very big boar. I mean, we're talking a boar that's we're talking Princess Mononoke, the boar demon god from the very beginning, all right?
So I'm watching all this from the window of my cot that I'm staying at?
I mean, you've burst outside from the inn. I mean, you literally sleep in the bar, right? They put up a...
Can I not have burst outside? Can I be watching this from the window, not have come outside yet?
There's not really a window. You could open the door and watch this happen, sure.
All right. Is there anyone in the bar with me right now?
No.
All right, then I'm going to close the door for a moment and take out the traveler's coin.
Okay.
And I'm gonna stare at both sides. One's the rising sun, one's my face, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna flip the coin.
Okay.
Can I just type in?
Oh yeah, you can roll 1d2. Yeah.
/R, or is it just 1d2?
Yeah, /R 1d2.
So I'm gonna say that's heads, I guess. That makes sense. 1 is heads.
Yeah, your face shows up.
All right, then I'm gonna use the coin to call the Dawn Agreement.
All right. Hello, Operator 29 here. So you see a blue hologram in front of you of a elven or half-elven man wearing glasses. I just got off another conversation with one of your coworkers. You should know everybody's doing great except for the emergency alert that I have to tell you. Maybe you should go first, though. What's going on with you?
Fairhold is being attacked by a bunch of wild animals. I believe the source of your issues might be some kind of druid.
Wow. Awesome.
I've detected
Incredible.
magic, and it's someone
All
claiming
right.
to be a nature spirit should be able to make natural fog instead of magic fog.
Okay. All right. Druid. I'm writing it here. Can you deal with this druid?
There's a large dire boar here. I'm gonna approach it, but
Okay. Dire boar.
you have the letter if I pass away to return to my.
We've already been making arrangements to send a caravan out there. Don't worry. We'll send a couple guards if you don't come back.
Yes, you know to hand over that letter to Thabit if I do not make it.
Yep. Okay. You got any, will arrangements post mortuary?
They'll handle all that.
Okay. All right. Well, just so you know, there is an invasion of demonic cultists in Stormwall that have kidnapped agents of the Dawn Agreement and are trying to steal their magic.
Sounds like a good time.
They were requesting help, but you're a bit far away, so I'm thinking you probably will not get there in time.
Maybe not.
And you've got your own problems, so I'll just mark you down here as like a maybe in terms of response. And yeah, you go with what you're doing. Now look, I'm not saying you can't sacrifice yourself for the mission. Of course, I would never say that. But have you considered attempting to extricate yourself and retreating?
I'll take your words under consideration. I'd like to make this place safe.
I'm not here to give you orders. It is an agent's job to
I
make
said
the
under
best
consideration.
decision.
I did not say you were ordering me.
Okay, that's great. That's good. I'm in the clear here. Well, listen, if you live to make it back to base, just make sure to drop a courtesy card for Operator 29. That's me.
Operator 29, you do a great job. Keep up the good work. Do not change. You are perfect.
Make sure to fill out that courtesy card when you get back. Put all of that in. My boss would love to hear it. That's the professor. Anyway, good luck. Ta-ta. It's tea time here.
Ciao.
He disappears. Outside, you hear the howls of 1,000 cats engaging in battle.
I head out the door, leaving the traveler's coin inside the inn. There's a bar.
You leave the coin behind? My God. Didn't you know that's the source of your power?
It's the source of my power. I got problems.
When you exit, the boar turns to face you and roars. And when that happens, the birds in the sky part to create a channel directly towards you. And some of the traitor cats move out of the way, drawing the battle. And it is as if there was a clear line between you and him and that mine. That damn mine.
And I will walk through that aisle.
As you walk slowly forward.
One short sword at the ready, in case anything tries to attack.
Starts moving towards you as well. It's not getting ready to pick up speed yet. But sometimes you see one of its rear, what do they have, hooves? Not really, no. Legs? Hooves? Do they have hooves? Technically, I guess pigs have cloven hooves, right? So, yes.
Boars have hooves, yeah.
Yeah, all right. It does that thing that horses do where it, stamps really hard to let you know it's getting ready to run.
Am I close enough to another building to duck behind it?
You could exit the column of friendly animals, sure. To duck
I'm going
behind
to
building.
Move behind a building to put it between me and the boar.
When you do that, the boar immediately becomes enraged and you can hear it starting to pick up speed.
I'll keep moving around the building trying to avoid the boar.
The building shatters. The boar doesn't get all the way through the building, but whatever the wall is like on his side is probably more like sawdust right now. You can hear it backing up to get ready to go in again. On your side, they're shaking. There's this force that throws you backwards as the wall near you kind of...
Do I know whose building this is?
At somebody's house, for sure. It was somebody's house. I mean, we're going to need to get an inspector out here, some contractors. Foundation's going to have to get some work.
All right, I'm going to pull out a torch.
You're gonna pull out
And
a
light it.
torch. Okay. All right. All of the
Actually, I
cats
have a
in the area.
tinderbox. I'm just gonna use the tinderbox to light the house on fire.
You're gonna light the house on fire. All right. You need a starter to get the house on fire. You know what I mean? You don't have any tinder. You don't have any like flammables.
I have a tinderbox.
I mean, look, having a tinderbox is like having a match, right? You know what I mean? If you
Holds
just
flint, fire, steel, and tinder.
okay,
Used to
I'll buy
kindle a
that.
fire.
I'll buy that. I'll buy that. So you take your time to carefully put some tinder on like part of the wood, and then you light it on fire and hope that the fire will spread. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. It's gonna be minutes before this house is what one would call engulfed in flame. You know, this is not gonna happen quickly, right? The house isn't doused in lacquer or something flammable.
Well, it takes me
Yeah.
about a minute to start the fire, and then it has to spread. So
Oh well, long before you get the you're over here.
I'm hoping
like,
he gets stuck again. Is my
no,
thing.
he doesn't. He doesn't. He goes around the outside. So like you no weapons out. You got the tinder. And then like you see a horn the size of your torso come around the corner, and like a massive eye staring out the side of this boar's head as it turns to look at you, and then the whole boar's body comes around, and you could tell it's ready to square up with you. There is an intelligence to this creature.
Well, that was faster than I thought. Well, Mr. Firm's going to take care of you. As I pull out my second sword.
You ready to do this thing?
I mean, can I just talk to a boar for an hour?
Yeah, you could talk to the boar. I mean, you're
that doesn't
threatening it by
sound-
holding weapons towards it, but yeah, what do you want to say?
I mean, it's threatening me. It just ran through a building to get to me.
Yeah, it's true. Sure. Didn't make it to the, didn't get through the building, just walked around it afterwards. But
I'll just casually say to it, well, I guess cohabitation isn't an option.
the boar snorts. You can physically see the snort, right? Like the air shimmers as it gets snorted out because it's moving under such high pressure.
And I guess we'll go into initiative. Because I'm ready to fight.
You don't need to roll initiative.
Okay.
It cedes the first move to you. It
That
feels
makes
pretty
me really-
confident that if you're going to attack it, it can definitely kill you.
Hmm. Are there any boxes around me that I can just like leap on top of real quick? That wouldn't take.
Make a perception check.
Need a little different. 18.
Yeah. I don't know about boxes, but let's say that part of your wall got damaged. You know what I mean? And some building material, maybe a little roofing fell down. It's enough to get you up on top of something. Exactly 5 feet up.
Then I will get up there if my movement allows it. I don't know how close it is.
Yeah, sure.
I assume it's close
Easily.
by.
Listen, we're running this really abstractly. The answer is yes.
And then I'm just going to stay up there and see what the board does next.
Okay. I mean, you haven't attacked it yet, right? So
No, I have not attacked it.
You're basically retreating from it, actually. The boar watches
I'm still
you.
facing it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're moving back away from it. Right? You're getting up and farther away.
Then I will sheath my short sword if it's not attacking and pull out my longbow and act like I'm aiming towards some birds.
Okay. That's your whole turn?
I'm just trying to wait and see what it does if I do
Okay.
this.
When you go for the feint with the bird shooting, it attacks. Let's see here. It's going to charge you. Yeah, I'd say that probably hits.
They can hit me even though I'm 5 feet up. How big is it actually?
I've described that this boar's horn is as large as your torso. It's a big boar.
Okay, so I can probably...
It's a dire boar. Listen,
Yeah,
you've played FGO, right? It's that.
It's not the big mechanical one with electricity coming out of it, is it?
Not that. Listen, it's the beginning of the game. It's the first summer
It's the one
event.
from Summer 1, yeah.
Yeah, Skasahi. Make a strength saving throw.
Oh. Saving throw. 8.
Okay. You take 11 points of damage and you are prone. So it slams into you with its charge. The tusk hits you straight on, like your whole body is smashed by this, and you feel some bones breaking, like maybe one of your short ribs, and you're like, oh, and you go down. You slide on this not super steady debris that you're on top of, and the boar looks down on you and goes, What do you want to do? I bet you're glad for those 11 hit points right now, or the extra hit point roll, because 11 is not a small number of hit points.
No. That basically took out my level up and a little bit more. Standing up is half movement, right? Or am I thinking of a different game?
Yes, you're correct. It is half of your remaining movement.
And I'm assuming we're next to each other now?
Oh, yeah.
So if I move away, that's an opportunity attack.
You're going to turn your back on a dire boar? Forget about it.
From point blank, I'm going to try and hit him with the bow and arrow, with the longbow.
Do you have bow mastery? Ranged weapon mastery?
No, because that's a feat, right?
Yes.
No, that's not the feat I took.
Okay. Even if you weren't prone, you would still have disadvantage on this then.
Well, I stood up first.
Okay. You still have disadvantage because you're firing a ranged weapon in melee.
That's on D20. That's on D&D Beyond, not this one. Need to roll over
I didn't
here.
understand anything you just said, but yes.
I accidentally rolled on D&D Beyond without anything. So.
D&D Beyond, I don't accept those rolls. You show me the roll right here. I want to see that disadvantage. Oh my god. What's the other one?
I rolled a 13 on that die.
You rolled a 20 and a 1. Oh, what's it like? What's it like?
Which one did I roll first?
You rolled the 21st. I know. Doesn't
I have the inspiration
too.
Oh
man, listen, the timeline just fucking split here. There's one where you're doing great. Then there's one where you shoot the arrow and it just hits the boar and pinks off of that bone tusk, and you're like, oh shit. All right, it can't charge you again. Oh, please go ahead.
Can I cast Cure Wounds as a bonus action? I don't think so.
No, it's a full action. The
I
bonus
didn't think
action
I
one's
could.
like
I wanted to double check.
healing words.
I can cast Ensnaring Strike as a bonus action, apparently.
Sure.
But I cannot cast Cure Wounds. I don't want to cast Ensnaring Strike after shooting now.
That sounds wise.
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
All right. So it doesn't charge you again. It just continues to beat you with its tusk. I'm thinking a 16 hits you.
Armor class 15, so yeah.
I forgot to add the 1 there. So you take 6 points of damage. So you
17
stand up,
damage.
you fire. You're like, oh no. And then it headbutts you. It literally just reels back and bam.
Does it knock me away from it?
No, but the tusk basically goes between your legs as the boar just like, and its whole snout goes. Oh. Yeah, it's not great.
That does not give me a pleasant image.
Yeah. You stumble back in the pain, but no, it doesn't knock you off. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, you know? You haven't even heard it. The birds, the cats, I mean, the cat fight isn't going that well, but the wolves and Stern, you can't even see that fight anymore because you've been separated. You can definitely hear Jaeger going, ha! Ho ho! Yeah! Like very Robin Hood Men in Tights every time he shoots. Okay. What do you want to do? It's your turn again. I mean, this boar's breathing on you, all right?
I'll take the disengage. I can't disengage as a ranger, can I?
You can disengage, but it takes an action.
Yeah, I know. I'll disengage and move 30 feet away.
Okay. Before you do this, I just want to let you know there's nothing stopping this thing from just chasing you and then beating you again.
Yeah, I know, but I can't. Well, it'd take an action to move from my longbow to my short sword, I think.
No.
Oh, well.
You get an incidental draw. Yeah.
All right, then I'll do that, and now attack with the short sword.
Okay.
And I make sure I'm rolling on the right screen.
You know, you witcher it real quick.
18.
You quickly stave the bow somewhere on your back, do a sword draw, and apparently hit him. Go ahead.
5 piercing.
You get deep into that demon boar flank, right? I mean, listen, you're in the loin, all right? Your sword is buried to the hilt in this thing. It just kind of shakes you off, and the sword comes out. It's like a toothpick to this thing.
Make sure you're rolling as the boar, not as me. I just realized you rolled your attacks as me.
Oh, but I'm manually doing the...
Okay.
You can see I'm manually... You know what? Fine. I'll roll as Tavros, so that makes you feel better.
Okay. I just saw you rolling as me. I didn't know if that made a difference.
No, it doesn't. I'm manually putting the rolls in.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So...
Is that everything you want to do?
Yeah, that's everything I want to do.
Okay. The boar lifts its whole head up and basically comes down with the chin tusk. You know, it's some sweet chin music shit.
That does not hit.
Like a cat, you go sideways. Your tail fluffs along the side of this thing's mouth as it comes down, and it hurts its chin. It's like, argh. And your tail is like getting in its nose. This boar is more angry than dead, but it's upset now. It's really upset. It's super angry.
All right, back to my turn.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Ensnaring Strike.
Sure.
And then I'm going to swing at him with the short sword again.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to use it. I'm not going to use it. No, I didn't need it. 24.
That will hit.
And then...
What's the save against your... What's the number?
Strength 12.
All right. And because it's large, it gets advantage.
Mm-hmm. I also did 7 damage with the attack.
Okay. It... Like vines start crawling up the side of it, and it literally just barrel rolls out of them, shakes itself. As you strike it, the creature disappears in a mist of blood, and standing in its place, more like kneeling in its place, vomiting up blood, is a elf or perhaps a half elf, hood down on this beautiful, finely woven green cloak with like gold embossing and emblemming. Animals, various animals, squirrels, cats, wolves, deer, humans are all on this thing's robe cloak. And it stands up and says, "So, Shahbaz, we finally meet face to face. I had hoped you were to have capacity and wisdom to leave here, but instead you have chosen death." As this thing says that, it flame appears in its hand, but it doesn't move to attack you. He seems willing to converse, although you could just start stabbing him. I'm not going to stab you. Go ahead.
Can I still see the dire goat or whatever? Or is there not?
No, the dire goat, when you struck it the second time, it disappeared in a mist of blood.
Okay.
I'm going to let you
For some reason, I thought there was a boar and a goat.
No.
Okay. So it's just this guy and everything else around.
This guy was the boar. He was wild shaped.
Yeah, I knew that. Didn't they have a separate HP when they're wild shaped, or is that different?
Yes,
So
they have a separate HP. So the carryover still hurts him, which means you kind of actually did do some damage there. But
so he used his action to just talk to me. Did
he also
they didn't mention
summoned a ball of
Jubilix
flame.
at all.
There's
They didn't use
no Jubilix. There's no Jubilixing symbols here.
No, I'm saying they didn't mention that during the coin conversation, right? I didn't hear
Correct.
it.
Oh, from
When I was talking 29.
And Stormwall? Yeah, he mentioned demonic worshippers.
Well, he didn't mention Jubilix by name, right?
Okay, it is Jubilix, but no, he didn't mention Jubilix by name, no.
I will just point the short sword at him and go, what is your purpose here?
Freedom.
I am not inclined to kill you just yet. You attack me. That's all I do is I defend.
As if
you are down, I will
could
point.
kill me. Silence. I am monologuing now. I have listened to you and the rest of your stupid, slow, wasteful people. You have ruined this mountain. It is old. It has stood for thousands of years. And yet, in the blink of an eye, you have festered it with wounds, poisoning and killing the land, spilling toxin everywhere. You can't even stop from killing yourselves through your greed and recklessness. Do not shake your head at me, or I will remove it. And as they say that, flame goes down their arm and then like starts helixing around their body. It's pretty good. It's just a little parlor trick down here in New Orleans. One more question.
Are you here on behalf of Jubilix?
Jubilix? I serve the land.
Is that a no?
There are no masters that I attest to. I am free.
So you are not here on...
Oh my god, we're Guardians of the Galaxy now.
He's not saying directly no, so I'm not going to stop until he gives me a direct
Who's your master? What am I supposed to say to that? Jesus Christ?
Just say no.
He doesn't directly say no.
If you are not here for Jubilix, just say the word no, and I will sheath my blade.
Sheath your blade.
That was not a no.
I do not serve Jubilix.
I sheath my blade.
Okay. Things around town are not going that well. You might not know this, but pre-modern roofs were not generally designed to withstand numerous, like hundreds of birds sitting on them at the same time, crapping everywhere and trying to rip up the material. So, it's not like houses are falling down, but they're definitely a little bit more open air, like cabana style than they used to be. It's not like there's tons of dead people everywhere, but this town is going to be questionably inhabitable.
You said this is an elf, right?
Elf or half elf. Would you like to take a closer look?
Sure.
Make a perception check.
22.
This person is not just an elf, but an ancient elf. Perhaps one of those that came down from the stars tens of thousands of years ago. Their skin is old and leathery and tan. Even the incredible longevity looks that an elf may have failed this one, as it's, multiple levels of wrinkles. They have earrings made of walnuts that have been carved to just, kind of fit in there, just the little bump on the back tip, that sort of thing. A necklace made of ears and feathers.
Okay.
Can't see much else under there.
Can I notice how Stern and Jasper are doing?
Oh, very stern.
Or whatever.
Super stern.
I'm talking about the two other guys. How are they doing?
Oh, you're talking about Mr. Stern. You can't see Mr. Stern from here. You've stopped hearing Jaeger making loud shouting noises.
Okay. Can I cast a spell with a verbal component in a language they don't know? Or try,
Yes.
hopefully they don't know. Can I cast Ensnaring Strike with the verbal component in Dwarven?
Yes.
Then I'm going to attack him with my claws.
Okay. I just want you to know that, like, just is there any other component to it, like somatic?
Just verbal.
Okay.
It says components V.
Look, you can't hide that you're saying something magical. That's impossible. That's the whole point of the component, right? Like, I don't know whether your voice echoes when you say it, or whether you downshift a few tones or something, but all the components, unless you take feats or meta magic to hide it, it's obvious. So he has a split second to know that this is coming. But yeah,
I'm hoping I can use my claws.
Are you Black Panthering? Like,
I'm gonna move my hand towards my chest first, so it looks like I might be casting a cure spell, and then I'm gonna attack him with the claws.
All right, sure. I'll allow this to happen, even though he's got great insight. He does not feel any threat from you.
20.
All right. Strength check again, I see.
Still a 12.
Okay.
You rolled a 7. I rolled 1 damage. God bless that -1 strength.
Okay. You wrap him in vines as he's forced to the ground. Huh? You dare! You doing anything else with the rest of your turn?
I did not say. I said I was not going to kill you. Now have a nice day. And I turn and run away.
Okay. It deals 1d6 at the start of his turn.
Mm-hmm. You want me to roll that?
Yes, I do.
All right. For some reason, I felt you were going to roll it. 1 damage again.
Listen, those 1 damages will add up eventually, okay?
If I do an unarmed strike, I just do 0 damage. So it's better than that, at least.
Hmm.
And then he has to make a save to get out of it again, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm just figuring out whether he wants to bother or whether he's just going to set the whole town on fire.
Well, if it means anything, I'm moving towards the exit of town.
He cannot afford to make concentration checks, so he will attempt to break out of this.
I believe it's...
And he does not. So you're just running. You're leaving town?
Well, I'm going to move back into the open first and on my first move and see what's going on, and then I'll make my decision from there. I'm planning on leaving town.
Jaeger has thrown something like a blanket over himself and is on his knees on a roof, like, no, as he's getting pecked. Whatever this, creature, maybe it's a familiar of some kind, a magical beast. Stern seems to have taken care of that one, but his pants are ragged with wolf bites, blood, I wouldn't say streaming out of him, but it's trickling. One of his shoes no longer has a sole, and he is slow. He wasn't always in the best of condition in the first place. His flaming sword sputtering a little bit. The blade is now blackened from the horrifying flame that he's used. The 2 wolves are just circling him, waiting for him to go in one direction so the other can get him from behind.
Do the wolves look like the wolves look okay?
They look exactly like the wolves
damage?
you saw before. They haven't taken any damage yet.
God, y'all suck. Yeah, I'm just gonna use feline agility and run out of town.
Amazing.
Back the way I entered.
Roll another 1d6.
4.
Roll another 1d6.
1.
If he just continuously fails us and dies from this, I want you to understand how
We got
upset
out now,
I'm
it's
going to be.
12.
Okay. All right. So at this point, you've covered hundreds of feet, right? People are outside using baking pins to fight off cats and birds.
I got a bit of 120 or 150.
The miners are covering themselves in like their mining equipment to act as an armor and like pickaxing, and they're making their way towards the wolves to help Mr. Stern. It's at that point where you see a fucking blasted tree appear. Like you turn and look back at the town, and seared into your vision is like 100 lightning bolts forming down into one column and then spreading out again as the, I wouldn't call it beautiful, but the industrial chemical plant on the edge of the lake just becomes a mushroom cloud of flame. But then, every few seconds, there's another lightning strike somewhere. Kadoosh, kadoosh.
Well, every 6 seconds, I'm moving 30 feet farther away.
Okay. What's your plan here?
I'm just going to leave town the way I came in, back towards the river.
Take the back roads? Well, you know the wolves aren't there now. Okay. You get back there. You leave town.
Is Mr. Grimm conveniently there at the top of the river?
How good is your luck? Make a charisma saving throw real quick.
I have the lucky feat.
You know what? I'll just have it happen. You are tired. You're exhausted. You know, you got sweat pouring down your body. You've been running for hours. Adrenaline is pouring out of you. And Mr. Grimm makes his way to the end. My goodness, is that Mr. Shahbaz? What are you doing here?
Take me to Pine Tree, please.
Oh, yeah. You have your fare?
I have 15 gold. Is that enough?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then I guess I ride the gondolier back to the Pinehold area.
It's a lot faster in this direction, man. He doesn't even use the stick.
So going downstream now, right?
Yeah. I mean, is this it? Is this the end of the story of Shahbaz? Is retreating from the location as the druid overthrows the government and tries to kill everyone?
Yeah, the Dawn Agreement knows to go there, especially since I left my coin behind.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna arrive at Pinehold or Pine Tree.
Yeah.
And look for the teacher.
Yeah.
Do you need a writing instructor?
That's it. That's the last line. Incredible. Have you resigned your commission?
I was planning on that being the ending the entire time.
Incredible.
As soon as I flipped the coin and it landed heads, I knew that was my ending.
Wow.
I either died or I went back to become a writing teacher for humans.
Well, listen, there are several dozen kids in Pine Tree who would love to learn how to write contracts to secure their chicken futures. So,
I mean, they can just learn to write anything.
Yeah, but the chickens, everything is about chickens in this town, man.
Well, maybe they'll have some good chicken contracts in 4 different languages.
Incredible.
A random town in Acas that can all write and read Infernal.
I feel like the Dawn Agreement is going to spend years tracking you down to give you your back pay. Oh.
We've been looking for this guy for. I mean, they probably assume I'm dead if they just find my traveler's coin in the middle of a random destroyed town.
Sure, that is true. I would also assume that you were dead.
Heck. But now when I was thinking about this episode for like the past 2 weeks, there's like 3 different episodes where I went, I really should use a traveler's coin at this point in time, like an hour after the recording. Like the whole time I was like, what if I just leave and go live at Pinehold or Pine Tree, mixing the town names up? And that's where I ended up going, I guess.
Okay.
And the Dawn Agreement doesn't know what happened, so they're going to send a bunch of merchants there looking for all that magic components.
Well, this is the first ending of Dawn Agreement. Certainly, It has been an interesting experience. You really just skipped out on the boss fight. I honestly
Well, I beat the boar.
Yes, you didn't beat the person that was the boar, though.
I did a chunk of damage to him.
Sure.
I just by casting one spell and just letting him take 1 point of damage at a time.
His hit points are lower than when he started. That's all true.
I think I had like 4 or 5 times he went for 1 hit point. How close was he to death?
30 hit points.
You know, I just rolled better than a 1. I might have actually just accidentally killed him.
Yeah.
I told him I wasn't going to kill him, and I didn't do it. I don't know how Zwilling's going to be doing, but she's the only one left in town. If she's,
I was going to say, Zwilling's the only one. Listen, Zwilling's the only one he communicates with. She's going to be fine. Well, this may be the oddest end of a campaign I've ever had. I hope you enjoyed it, audience. I hope you enjoyed it as well. You got any like post-episode, post-series arc thoughts for me about what we did here? About the story that we wrote together? Some of us more writing than others.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on. This is my first show on your channel.
Sure. And
it's a very different show than you're used to running.
Maybe.
I know I kind of just skipped out on a bunch of leads you were giving me, especially the 2 different things that were stolen. I meant to use the frog cloak at the end. I just didn't get to it.
All the things that were stolen were spell components for the druid spell list.
Yeah, I figured that. But I figured there was a trail if I followed that to something, but I just didn't go with it.
I mean, you already figured out it was a druid long before,
Yeah. Well, if you say, hey, I'm a spirit of nature, well, why is this fog not natural? You have to be something. But no, it was fun being on here. I know you aren't happy with the popularity of the show, but I enjoyed it, even though I don't watch my own episodes back because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. But
I'm there.
And I've enjoyed everyone else's episodes. It seems like everyone's having fun, so I know you don't really want to continue this kind of game.
True. It's not that I don't want to continue this kind of game. It's that I am a influencer and I chase the views. I am a slave to popularity, and the only thing that is that money.
But I like the kind of game this was. I like the one-on-one format. So if you find a different way to run a one-on-one format, maybe that'll work for you.
We'll see.
But yeah, everyone check out LFAP's other shows, the other Dawn Agreement cast members. I
think it's fair to say anybody that's watching this has been watching all of them.
I hope so, because I'm probably not the best one to watch. There's a lot more skilled and a lot more experienced players.
I mean that anybody watching Dawn Agreement, that's the point, is watching all of the Dawn Agreements. They have roughly the same viewership.
I mean, they don't have the same viewership? That means not everyone's watching everything. Watch everything, people.
Some of them are longer or shorter than others, which means sometimes people stop halfway through.
Yeah, that's true. I do that with Solaris Night sometimes because I listen at work on cleaning a cafeteria. But yeah, again, thanks for having me on. I hope to be back on another show if the people can stand my voice any longer. And that's about it.
That's it. Thank you for joining me, audience. Have a good time, Zone.